wook+live.
Welcome back to Wook+. I'm Weekend Wook, joined by T Llama and Kev, the Great Went. Before we get into things, I want to give a huge shout out to our newest members. Father Chris, welcome. Also, I don't know, I think these other two we didn't mention. They were since our last show, Mr. Plow and Andy. Love you guys.
Mr.
Thank
Plow.
you. Mr. Plow, Mr.
Andy
Plow.
who? The Andy?
Well, it's hard to say the Andy in our scene because there's like a lot of great Andys, like really good Andys. Andy Bernstein, Andy Gale.
Jump Andy.
Jump it. Yeah,
You
Mike.
start leaving out Andes.
Yeah, I love all the Andys. We are a very pro Andy channel here. So
Would you say Andes all around?
what's up, Llama? I missed you last week. I'm glad to see you, man. How you been? Good?
Yeah. Pretty
Awesome.
good.
I've been, as I've been saying, if you guys have been following on like social media or last week, I've been doing a shit ton of tie-dye. I'm like addicted to it. So I decided that I want to give away today to somebody in the chat.
Did you make the one you're wearing?
I did. It's sick. This is called a wig wag. So it's like the green and blue. It's very cool. A wig wag. Yeah, I'm learning all about it. But so I wanted to come up with a fun way to give a tie-dye, original tie-dye to someone in team chat. So I came up with a little game, which is not the most original game. I've seen it done a million times, but I figured it'd be fun. So the way this goes, we're going to do it 8 times throughout the night. I'm going to play 1 second of a Studio PHiSH song. And the first person to put in the chat the song gets their name in the drawing. And then at the end of the night, we'll draw out of the 8 names. And whoever wins will get a original tie-dye. So
An original.
yeah, the first one's the easiest. You want to do the first one just to get out of the way to get things started?
Yeah, let's get this.
All right, chat. Everybody get ready. Get your fingers on your
Now
keyboard.
it's the first person who gets it right gets their name in.
Right, not just the first person that
So
answers.
it matters who can type fastest as much as who can recognize it.
Right, but
Just guess the song now,
like abbreviations
Just
are
start
acceptable
guessing.
though. So like if it was a song, and this one isn't one of them, I'll give away. So if it was hypothetically, if it was a song I heard the ocean sing, if you did AHIS,
Yeah, pick the most
TOS.
complicated one. Yeah.
Work through it.
that would be or big black furry creatures. Like if you do the abbreviation, no man's like whatever it is, you could do the abbreviation. You don't have to type out like the formal thing.
With the exception of Sense of a Mule or Melt, right?
Can I put just
You could
G?
do some mule
Or
or some
mule.
melt.
Could I just put G for ghost?
No.
Any other questions? Have any other?
How do you
questions?
spell petrichor?
Well, it's only 1 second. So I'm hoping we don't get flagged. If we do get flagged, fuck it, right?
Oh, we're getting flagged.
We're totally getting flagged. The first one is super. All of these are honestly very easy. I thought there's a couple that are fun, but all right, let's get the first one out of the way. Who's monitoring chat? Who's gonna? I guess we could go back and look too.
Well, yeah,
All
there's going to be delay anyway.
Yeah. So you ready?
Tease on it.
Now you motherfuckers don't shout it out. Let the chat answer it.
Can't guarantee.
All right,
Washington.
Demand. All right, ready? Hold on.
Ha, ha, ha.
1, 2, 3.
Got to start easy.
All right, somebody's got to have gotten that.
No, it hasn't even reached YouTube yet, dude. There's like a 30-second delay.
What do we do in the space in between? I think Kyle got
Oh,
that.
Kyle
We just
got
get
it
with
just
the
ahead
show.
of
There
David.
you go. Kyle
All
got
right.
it.
Nicely done. All right, so we don't need to do this all right now. We'll do it throughout the night, but it's just a fun way. I think some of them are a little bit harder. I think that was the easiest one. But anyway, Kev, why don't you tell us about our first story of the night? Because you brought this up. I thought this was really
Right.
fucking wild, to be honest.
One of the most dear to my heart websites, archive.org. You can get all your Grateful Dead there, all kinds of other bands. They're being sued by a bunch of record labels for something called the 78 Project, where they took a bunch of old stuff from 1910, 1920s, digitalized it, and then have
It
it
also
available
goes up to the 50s, though. Like, it's not just the 1910s. It's like
Right.
up through the 50s. But
Right.
yeah.
Okay. But either way, there's 78. Most of them are probably, not something anybody's going to seek out unless you're doing research. Like I went through listening to them, just tracing songs that I heard other bands cover. And then
Right.
you could find the 78 of it. But they're being sued for $400 million. And for me, what it boils down to is that the legal system is not caught up with technology, because the differentiation, I feel like, is archive.org is a library and they are lending. Now, what the record companies are saying is they're a streaming site like Spotify, and they're losing revenue because if somebody went to Spotify and listened to this 78, they would get paid for it.
Who the fuck's going to Spotify to listen to something from 1912, though? That seems like a reach a little bit. I read that article. I thought it was interesting, too, because the other argument is that they're not remastering it or putting, like, polishing it up. Like, you get all the cracks and pops and
All
scratches,
the popcorn, yeah.
everything that's in there, which is awesome. And these are a really brittle like substrate, right? Like that they're on. So like we're losing them, the history. So I think it's kind of an important thing to do. It got me thinking, though, the reason I really like this is because how the fuck do they get away with it for all the other things? They like do they have to have special
bands?
agreements with every artist that's on there? Or
Years and years ago, I wanted to put a Super Suckers bootleg that I recorded up on there, and I had to get permission from the band and have them send it over to archive.org that it could be hosted there, live recordings, bootleg.
So
live
it is
recordings.
a per band like release type of thing,
right? And the Grateful Dead are on there, and you can only stream the soundboards, but you can download the audience recordings. So
Yeah,
they
it's
made the
crazy.
distinction there, but they allowed it to be there. You could only stream it, though. You could only borrow it. I better use the right language if I'm going to be on their side.
Well, no, I mean, that is bullshit, though. Like, I get that it's a library and everything, but it's a streaming. Like, that's how I think of it, right? You
Well,
go and you listen to
I
music.
download. I mean, I have a whole hard drive full of
You also
78
stuff
that I
LimeWire and
downloaded.
Pirate Bay because, you're stuck.
And bootleg movies. And
I mean, but you think about it, like when Netflix stopped streaming, say, The Defenders, they took The Defenders off, or the Inhumans, or one of those Marvel shows. Where are you ever going to see it again? It isn't available to buy anywhere on DVD unless you have a torrent of, a file of it saved somewhere.
It's in the Disney Vault, man, now, right? Because Disney bought
Yeah,
all that
well, that
shit.
doesn't help me watch it if I get a hankering to watch the Inhumans or something.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like I'm not well versed enough to like speak to the legalese of it all, but it does feel like a classic case of greed and like the man sticking it to him, right? Like 400 million to like it just feels like a.
That's what they say they've lost. Yeah. How
Yeah.
many people went and listened to Blind Lemon Jefferson from 1912?
It feels
the
like
only-
Metallica all over again, like Lars and the Napster thing.
yeah, and it feels like the old thing with like not bringing recording devices into concerts and things in the old days before iPhones and everybody had a phone that could record everything, and them busting people that weren't allowed to record the show or video the show or anything like that, which was just always such a joke. And like then there's no record of all that music, right? Like of all those other concerts and all that other stuff from those times, other than which is what made the Dead so special, and like Fish and things, because you have an archive of all those awesome shows. So,
and some bands don't record their own stuff. Like at least
Right.
the Dead would record their like Bruce Springsteen in the 70s. He didn't record
You
anything.
don't want to hear that shit.
Yeah, but no, you do. That was Bruce Springsteen, what rock and roll was from 75 to 80. I mean, he was huge. And
No, but I heard
feel
an
like-
interview with him where he said he didn't want to hear his own playing. Like it made him
Oh.
self-conscious. Like
well,
he
fuck
literally
him.
Well, right, of course he probably doesn't, or like, you know, it's not watching the movies that you're in or whatever, but your fans would like to hear it, and there's people out there that would like to hear it, and just music in general. Like to Kev's point,
Well,
that was rock and roll at that time, and now it's just lost. Like you can't,
forever.
you can talk about it and say,
Right.
oh, it was awesome, but you can't actually physically be like, here, listen to this and tell me how awesome it is. It's like, it's not like a history book. It's gone. Like there's just
And, like,
no.
how tied is music now to just our culture, right? Like you pick a show from 78 and it's way different than 83. Like it's a snapshot of America, like at that time, you know?
Yeah,
And
of
it's
that
just-
band, of everything. And if you're
Yeah.
a fan of it, like why wouldn't you want to go back and listen to some of that stuff and hear some of that? And I think there's always the nostalgic factor too. Like as you get older, you want to hear, like I'd love to hear shit from the 80s that we never, you know, that you didn't really think of at the time that you were really even into, but now you'd be like, oh yeah, I'd totally listen to a Duran Duran concert or something, you know, like something like that.
And
Like
that's the beautiful thing about YouTube. I've gone back and I watched a Duran Duran since you brought them up from New Year's 84 or something, right after they put Rio out. So it was every song you knew, and it was 90 minutes tops, probably only like 70.
right.
I just want free music. I don't want to. I mean, I'll pay the artist, but I don't know. I feel like Spotify and Apple Music. and all those
Metallica does allow taping, which I've always found interesting since Lars was such a poopy head about Napstar.
Yeah, overreacted. I think you guys. You want me to do? I think we should do another Fish tune. We got to
All right.
remember to space these in, otherwise we're going to do them all at the end.
Yeah.
This one is really hard, so I don't know. It's not really hard, but I think it's the hardest one. It's the first second. of the-
Lushington.
What? All right, I'm gonna play it. Okay. That's all you get.
Can you
I
repeat
didn't even
that?
hear it.
Oh, good for you.
I actually could tell up front it is, but I listened to this album a lot. I did back in the day. Yeah, Makita, motherfucker. Oh, Sherman.
No, Sherman got it
Sherman
first.
just beat
got
it.
in there.
That happened last time too. I thought somebody beat it, but it comes in just ahead of it. All right, so close, Makita.
Beauty.
Yes.
That was a good one there, Wook.
All right. T,
Let
you
T kick this off.
I was gonna say you brought us this next article or topic. You want to take us off on the Talking Heads thing?
Yeah, it's so the Talking Heads are going to reunite for the first time in 21 years since 2002. So 21 years for the 40th anniversary of the great Stop Making Sense concert video movie directed by the late Jonathan Demme. And they're not going to get together to play anything. They're just getting together for a panel at TIFF, which is the Toronto International Film Festival. And it's going to be moderated by Spike Lee, who directed David Byrne's latest
American Utopia.
Broadway,
Yeah.
American Utopia Broadway show, and put that on as a film. So, which is, when I first read that, I was like, Spike Lee, that's an interesting one. But then once I read that he did that, I was like, well, not only it's interesting that he directed that movie too, and so it didn't make it any clearer to me. But I think it's
Baby
pretty cool
step.
that they're actually getting back together, and they're also releasing 2 unreleased tracks from the concert that was filmed from, which includes a live version of Cities. which
Oh, that's
everyone
gonna be
knows
cool.
as the Fish song. So that will be cool. It's like the first, which marks their first single in like 30 years, if you want to call it that. They're at least releasing it. It's not new, obviously it's old, but I think it's kind of fascinating that they've, had this riff, so to speak, for 21 years. And I know it got us kind of talking about other bands that when they break up, who else has had like
Ugly
breakups and riffs and not wanting to get back together. And they did go through a legal thing for a while too, because a couple of them split off and became the Tom Tom Club, and they kept playing some of their songs, and David got pissed at them and they went through a lawsuit and all this stuff.
But
So
they
there wasn't
do
a lot of,
but Genius of Love is in the Stop Making Sense movie,
yes, it is. And
which was Tom
there
Tom's
has been
Club.
a lot bad blood between them before, in these years. It's not like they just kind of got over it. So it's interesting. It's cool.
He said in some other interview recently that he did that he was a tyrant and he was an ass about it. The story is that Chris and Tina found out that he left Talking Heads from a newspaper article. He didn't even bother to say anything to him. He told some interviewer, "You guys are done." But
they said that, and to your point, Kev, they said that he was a tyrant too, and he admitted to being one. I think, obviously, with time, you mellow and you look back and you're like, God, I was such a dick back then, or whatever type thing. But it's good to see that they can at least put it aside and get together for this panel, which I think is going to be fascinating. And the movie,
weird to get together for a panel and not like to play
a song.
I don't think so.
You don't think that's weird?
I think it's easier to get together and talk about the past than it is to try to recreate and play something.
Well,
right?
and maybe it's a first step to maybe
test it out.
mending more fences and trying to see if maybe somewhere down the road we could do that. Because imagine them getting back together for a reunion tour would be
sell out
before
it even goes on sale because fucking bots and
right. You never get a ticket, but
Kyle Zappa though, it was Frank Zappa's band. He didn't like you. He'd kick you out. It was never David Byrne's band. It was supposed to be all them, I think, is the distinction. But what you guys? Well, I have Oasis.
Splitting hairs on assholes here.
No, not really. I have
asshole hairs.
I have Oasis, Pink Floyd, and the Kinks as the top 3 most petulant breakups, and 2 of them contain brothers. It was brothers in Oasis and the Kinks that were the issue.
There's some hostile ones. I mean, the Beach Boys, a couple of them still.
Oh, Mike Love, right, and Brian Wilson.
Yeah,
well, Mike Love's a prick.
Total. But that's just it. There's always like one that's sort of the prick, and then the other ones that are like. But then you never know the other side of the story. It always kind of comes out that way. But Pink Floyd, I think you're dead on with that one for sure. It's interesting. I mean, Oasis was always. I think part of the hatred is what drove some of the music. Some of the good music in that was how much those guys didn't like each other. So it's interesting. Black Crowes.
I was thinking Black Crowes too. I heard an interview with him, like Chris on Howard a couple of years ago. That was a crazy fucking story.
Apparently, you don't want to get in a band with your brother and then get big. As long as you never get big,
right? That's right.
Or cousin Kings of Leon. That's another one.
Yeah, there you go.
I remember watching Get Back. I got a whole new perspective on the Beatles breakup because, like, I mean, obviously, I think we were all too well, except for Kev. Kev was old enough, but none of us remember it directly. But I was always told it was like, oh, it's Yoko. But then, like, when you see, like, what you like in the studio and how that went down, that seemed pretty fucked up too.
And the songs they wrote, like,
and how good they were in such a turmoil time.
Well, he wrote that song "How Do You Sleep" about Paul, and like one of the lines in it is about your Muzak instead of music. He calls it Muzak.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's interesting. I mean, it's always one of those things. And I mean, and then bands like Led Zeppelin who just don't want to get back together because you're missing a key piece of your band, but then other bands keep going, like the Who kept going once Keith Moon died. So it's a very
Stones
fascinating.
Kept going,
it's a very fascinating. Well, they kicked Mick Taylor out. I mean, they lost Mick Taylor, which was like the best part of the Stones. They kept going, and there you go, another disagreement.
Fleetwood Mac wouldn't tour with Lindsey Buckingham on their last tour for whatever reason.
Yeah. It's true. It's always interesting. And even the Chili Peppers with Frusciante for a while, he's back with them. But then there's always that again, age kind of, you get older and you kind of realize things, and then you're like,
Guns N' Roses is probably like the biggest that I can think of.
Back together again. And they put out a new tune, which sounds like a Guns N' Roses tune from the Appetite for Destruction period and not the Chinese Democracy period.
Crap. Yeah, that was.
See, I don't think the age calms them down or gives them perspective. I think poverty gives them perspective. I think these fuckers all like they miss being wealthy and like making a shit ton of money. Like, oh, we better put this all behind us
and realizing that you're not doing as well with the other shittier spin-off bands that you formed.
Right.
Like, you don't have the same chemistry and the same success.
When Joe Perry left Aerosmith when they were fighting and he had the Joe Perry Project. Have you ever heard of them? I didn't think so.
No, it's like Michael Jordan playing baseball. Like, it's interesting and like a novel thing, but it's not what you want to see. It's not,
Yeah, but have you thought of like
almonds with Vicky? Sorry,
the opposite, where like the side project takes off and the main project's like,
has that happened?
I think Fun they broke up and Antonoff went to Bleachers and they took off.
Well, I guess any band that had
You
a band
know.
before the band that got
Well,
big.
I
had
mean,
a
it was
example
like
that.
Fun was a big band though, right? For like that moment, they were big.
Well, so like when Taper's Choice gets huge, you think CT's gonna be like, oh, fucking Vampire Weekend.
Going back to Vampire Weekend.
Yeah.
I think Pete Townsend had a pretty good run as a solo career.
Townsend
Like
would be
he
one.
was one of the
all
few.
the best Cowboys have Chinese eyes. That's a fantastic album.
I'm doing solo next week, by the way. All you fuckers are out of here.
Dude,
But, I
it's
mean, it's
hard to
also-
go solo.
Yeah.
It's also interesting that PHiSH, had the breakup and were able to come back from it all too, because usually sometimes that doesn't happen and get back together and go for as long as they've gone since then. So it's, breaking up is an interesting thing with bands. It's always fascinated me.
It's hard to do.
It is
Isn't that how
hard
the
to
song
do.
goes?
Breaking up is hard to
Hey,
do. But anyway, the Talking Heads
Alma.
thing I think will be fascinating and should be pretty cool. So we'll see how that
Somebody
goes.
wants to know who Taper's Choice is.
Do we still have that PowerPoint? Oh, we do.
Oh, wow. All right, next slide. All right, so Taper's
Well, you
Choice
got it now, Skunky.
consists of Zach, Dave, Chris, and Alex, and you can read their respective instruments right there. So no, they're a fun jam band. Here's a good list of reasons.
This is really fun, man. I'm glad we still had this in here. That was completely unexpected.
That's amazing. I love
All
it.
right, how do I get this off? I don't know.
That's it. You can probably just exit out.
There we
There
go.
it is.
No, there you go.
There we go.
And speaking
That's
of,
funny.
remember their East Coast tour is coming up 2 weeks after Dick's. So if you're out
Yep.
in the East, get your tickets, go see them. Kev and I, there's a good possibility you might see Kev and I out there on the road as well at some of those shows. So
gotta
Let's
go,
do another
another
fish
song.
show. Yeah. This is the third one, right? We've done 2 so far.
correct.
Yes, this is the
All right,
third.
you ready, chat? You ready?
Lushington. Huh.
That one's pretty easy.
I know
right?
that one. I would have got that one.
Doo, doo.
Do, 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 do.
It's amazing how many
So-
songs we can do this with. Are we letting doubles or
No, you gotta let the next person, right? So if you
Yeah, that was
answer,
close. I'll give it to Ben.
yeah.
I
We're
thought-
probably-
Alright,
everybody
Ben.
gets a chance. Like if
So-
you have the best internet, you get one entry still.
Shermith is on it though, man. I
Yeah, it
mean,
was very
that
impressive.
was impressive.
So part of the VIP experience at SPAC apparently includes a Trey and Page solo set. And what I wanted to ask you guys is, do you think if Trey and Page happen to play like Squirming Coil or something, that we'll see it played live at SPAC or Dick's, or is it completely off the table then?
A
Tila.
more important question: how is it a solo set with 2 people?
Right.
That is true. I don't think they're gonna play anything that PHiSH would play. I think they're gonna play December and January, and everybody that pays a fuck ton of money to go see them is gonna leave their butt hurt.
And some
and-
Vita Blue or something.
Yeah, like they're gonna play shit.
But December has Evening Song on it, and
I hope that's off the
Where's
table.
the
Then.
dogs?
Yeah,
I
take
think
that-
it's
take that off the table.
I think it's if they play anything together, I don't think they play it at SPAC, but I think it's still on the table for Dick's. But I think anything they play at SPAC with the band is off the table for Dick's. That's how I
Yeah.
look at it.
I think that they're far enough away geographically that it's not necessarily off the table. I think in all likelihood, if they play in SPAC, they probably won't, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's 1 or 2 songs like a Sand or something, or Simple that gets played at SPAC and gets replayed, because it's also 4 nights at Dick's. I think they think of it like, even though we know like a large portion travel and a lot of the people that are going to be at SPAC will be at Dick's, I think they do look at it geographically. Like if they were doing Philly to New York, they wouldn't repeat things. But if you're going halfway across the country, I don't
You're
know.
hoping that it's not, unlike getting a 45-minute tweezer or something, and you're not getting a tweezer at Dick's.
I don't think I think the catalog depth doesn't. That whole idea of like, oh, this weekend's gonna fuck up the next week. I mean, like 400.
Well,
songs.
I think it's But I think it's certain songs, Tim. I mean, I think it's those bust outs. Like if you get a Glide at SPAC, you're not getting a Glide at Dick's. But if you get a like Drift While You're Sleeping, then you're probably still gonna get a Drift While You're Sleeping at Dick's. So it's not like it's weighted, right? Like it's a weighted thing. Like you're not getting a Harpua at SPAC and a Harpua at Dick's. That's not happening. But
you aren't getting a Harpua anywhere, but that's another story.
Hey, if you get them at Dick's a couple times, you never know. But I mean, it's just one of those things where it's weighted. I think you're not getting the good song repeats. You're getting, Beneath the Sea of Stars and that crap.
But you know what? This summer, those songs were few and far between. I think there was only one Beneath the Sea of Stars out of all those shows, and 2 Drift While You're Sleeping.
Drip,
which was too many.
drip, drip, drip,
drip. The dripping tap into Drift While You're Sleeping.
Yeah. I mean, I'm really excited about the SPAC shows. I think it's great that we got bonus shows that were unexpected, and I'm hoping that we get some more bonus shows after the fall tour, like in December. I mean, I can say that because I'm not traveling this year, so it's couch tour for me no matter what. But I guess that's a good reminder. I guess everybody here knows, but we'll be live 15 minutes after Encore for every show. Well, I will be at least. I think you guys are actually going to be at Dick's, so you will not be for those. But come check it out and hang out with us.
Go away, Scott.
SPAC's a cool venue. Have you guys ever been there?
I have not.
No, I have not.
It's a very cool. I mean, it's kind of difficult in the middle of nowhere and not difficult to like stay at if you're not like camping nearby, but it's in the middle of a really beautiful park. And what do you call those? Like the springs, and it's like one of those things you like leave the venue and you're in nature. I love those venues. As much as I like MSG and I think that's like their house, I hate leaving the bliss of a show and being right into the chaos. So I love like being released into like nature.
I like having, well, at the very least, having like a lot to hang out in.
Yeah,
yeah. Like not having to drive.
MSG is tough because you're like you said, you're dumped out into the city, and it's like from the chaos of a show into the chaos of a city, and you're kind of like, oh, spun and like, right. I like having a lot and being able to go back to the car and like find your balloons and like grab a pizza and walk around a little and, have a little bit of downtime before, like Kev said, driving home or having to get in a car and drive home.
Yeah, I agree, Makita, about the sight lines. But if you get it, I mean, it's not as bad as the Man. And the problem is those ramps that come out that can really fuck you up. But they also got the upper level, which is dope. I don't know. Everybody has their pros and cons. I like it. I think it's one of my top tier sheds. Like it's in the upper half for me. But it's crazy though, because what is the other thing going on there? Is like a horse race or something?
The Travers Stakes.
Yeah,
it's like the biggest weekend of horse racing out there. So it's
did you see? Did you guys see the Fish rumor mill saying Sphere the 18th to the 22nd of next year in April?
No, like why don't you tell us about it?
I just saw one on the Twitter account, Fish Rumors.
I
wish you brought this up in the green room, but let's look it up.
It just popped in his head.
It just boom, all of a sudden.
It's amazing we have as much prep as we do.
I remembered all the words and everything. Just
I like how much attention.
I'm impressed you remember the dates.
Did you guys actually understand that he said the sphere? Because I did not. I thought you said steerage, and I was like, I was trying to have you elaborate because I didn't know what the fuck you were talking about. The Sphere in Vegas next spring. That would be sick.
Next April.
Yeah. I think that makes sense. I mean, we heard that you were telling about that, about like the clearing the seats and the guy that worked there.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And that they plan on having him. So yeah, I mean that makes sense. And we had talked about West Coast kind of gets those spring tours. It seemed like every other year, but now it's maybe that would be a nice little, you play in one place for the 8 shows or whatever instead of doing the 8-show run.
Though? I mean, the U2 tickets are like $1,000 for like the really good seats.
You only need to see one show. It's going to be Game Hinge for 8 nights, right?
For 8 nights.
To see it in the Sphere. It's like a one-time opportunity, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's going to be any more face. I think it's going to blow up in the aftermarket though, because it's going to be a hard ticket to get.
Yeah, the aftermarket's where you're going to get, I think, a little testy. But again, when I was looking at the U2 tickets, what's really crazy is the bottom section and the top section are the cheaper sections or whatever, and it's like the middle two sections are insanely expensive, like insane. So it's not like you want a front row seat, or I don't know why. I mean, I haven't seen, I don't know what the seating is like, but like the front rows or like the bottom rows that I was looking at, I was like, oh my God, they're so cheap. They're
Yeah,
only,
but it's like going to IMAX
$100
or something. You're like, fuck
right? Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. I wonder if it's going to be like,
it's going to fuck up the rail riders so much. It's actually kind of exciting.
Exactly. It's like you don't want to be on the floor maybe and down in front because it's just too much, man. You can't handle that on strong acid.
Yeah. But anyway, I'd be watching the band, so you get a really good seat and get on the rail for like $20.
Exactly, and be down there. There you go.
And a note to everybody: free fish this weekend. Both shows are being shown for free on YouTube or Live Fish, so you can check it out and don't even have to give them. But I tell you what, they'll probably do the donate through the.
Well, yeah, I think that's
should.
part
It's
of the
for
reason,
charity.
right? Because you're saving $60 or whatever. So donate that $60 to the charity that you would normally be spending on the stream. So that's nice. That's cool.
Yeah. You want to do another song, chat?
Go
Get
for it.
Another
Yeah.
chance.
Is this
These
song
tie-dyes
4?
are very good, by the way, if I do
Song
say
4?
so myself. What is it, song 4?
Yes.
Oh shit, I didn't write down the answer, so I hope I actually do recognize them. All right, here we go, chat. Everybody ready? Okay.
Ooh.
That's a hard one.
That is a hard one. It's very generic. It could be a lot of things.
Shermith and Dave Barrett got it. It is dirt. Good job, guys. Fucking great.
Man, Sherman is on it, so Dave got it. Write that down.
All right.
4 songs that you've done.
You know, if Shermith comes in first for everyone, we probably need to come up with a second tie-dye.
Yeah, I think Shermith might. Well, let's see who wins the drawing, and if it's not Shermith, well, maybe he'll come up with something, or her. Actually, I don't know if it is not a gender-specific name, so it might be she.
Sorry, yes, them.
Them.
My kids tell me. My kids did explain.
Well, it's good.
I mean, it's true. We should almost give him, like we did with the jersey, enter him a few extra times just to make it give him a little.
No, I do think you're looking. I don't think you're looking for John Holmes or something for the next one. The next topic.
Oh,
fish
fish sticks. Oh, this is a bittersweet topic. For me, I'm super jealous.
I think the best ones are all the ones I didn't see, because I've gone the past 2 years and only one night really stands out as I'd put in one of the better fish shows I've ever seen.
Which one?
The one set show.
Yeah, the lightning round.
Yeah,
that was.
Night.
I don't know. I've never gone back and like re-listened and evaluated, but from my memories of the night, that was one of the best, like, just fish experiences for me. It was just such a perfect night. I don't know, man. I think you're due for a really banging show or run. I think with how good this tour was, and the fact that Dix has been a little, iffy or subpar for the last couple of years, I think it's due. I hope, right, for you guys.
I don't know. I went last year and enjoyed myself. I thought it was good. So
no, I mean, I thought last night.
I guess it's an expectation thing for me.
Yeah.
Dix, they did the S night. They did this. They did fuck your face, all that. And
Washington.
I go there and I'm like, I guess I expected sparks to be flying out their ass, and they weren't.
But if they spell something for 10 years,
So that's what I was thinking about. The machine hooked up to a machine with catapult was fucking so cool.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, you're right, Kev. Your expectations are what fucked it up. So go in this year expecting nothing, and then everybody will have a good time.
And it's different now too. I mean, the 4 nights is something different, and I think this year, to Tim's point, it's a little bit different. Yeah, because of their 40th, I think it'll be. The MSG shows had so many fun things and bust outs and things like that. I feel like to close out the 40th anniversary summer tour, you know, I mean, you're hoping for something, right? Because I mean, even when they did the 30th, that anniversary year, we all kind of went in thinking, oh my God, the 30th, they're going to do something incredible. And it was just kind of like a straight down the middle run of shows. Like it wasn't anything spectacular.
11 was probably the best year, right?
The first year when they did the S shows and that, I don't know. 11 was good. 12 was good. I think 15 was the best year I think 15 all around was the best year because Trey had the fairly well in his pocket. Yeah. And I think that was the big encore year and the thank you set and all that stuff. But I mean, there's definitely been some. I think the run from 2011 through 2015 was better than sort of everything that's kind of come after 2015. You have hit or miss shows in there, but I think those runs were kind of the pinnacle of like the Dick's experience, or those shows were fantastic. And then
Jason's gonna be at Dick's this year. Damn.
Yep.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Jason, you got to pretend to be me in the lot for a little bit, just so I'll give you a cutout so I can feel like I'm part of the.
Just give him a side eye.
Don't forget his jersey llama.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
That's right.
It's a kit. It's soccer. It's a kit.
That's right. It's a kit. It's a kit. I got a stack of kits.
I don't understand what that means. Is it short for something?
Soccer. I don't know. Ask a European
English
soccer
people.
person. Exactly. Biscuits and biscuit.
It means it's time for song number 5.
All right.
What? How many songs we got? Gotta
8.
space them out. 8.
Yeah.
3 left after this.
Yeah.
All right.
4
I don't
left.
know.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Well, after this, you want me to do it?
This is what I was saying.
Yeah.
Knock it out.
Chat, you ready? It's another easy one. Llama's like, I know this one. Yay, I know this one.
I gotta say, I love
I'm
David's
disappointed. I picked
enthusiasm here. This guy is on the ball, Kev. Just off of your rumors.
Yeah.
I love how Makita is number 2 every fucking time. And you know what? If he wasn't having a cone in his hand, he would actually be able to get it in.
But
he gets the cone down and then type it.
He gets it because, again, it's Shermith with the top one. So Scott gets in.
And Sherman spelled it out and still beat Makita. He spelled out the whole thing and still beat Makita's lackluster D Sky.
That's awesome. I don't know. Yeah, Shermith is killing it right now. That one, I do think, not to like put down anybody, but like I feel like this one was one of the easier ones. There's certain songs that's just like,
I didn't know that one.
Oh, really?
I didn't know that one either.
I can't say the last time I listened to the studio version of that song, though. I was probably 30 years ago. So,
I couldn't do any of the studio. I stopped listening to studio after like Hoist, but all the early studios, I not only do I know like by the note, I know them in order too. Like, when you're done listening, that happens to me at shows sometimes. Like, you finish a song and like the studio track is what I'll hear as like the next song.
A lot of their best stuff from 3.0 where it's when
Scoot, you're in the fucking drawing and you're gonna give me shit about my weak ass tie-dye and you're not even gonna spell it right.
Hey, real quick, I want to bring up real quick that Kev just mentioned he hasn't listened to a Studio Divided Sky in 30 years. Kev, it was 30 years ago this week was our first Red Rock show that PHiSH ever played. You happened to be there. I happened to be there. Our first time, I think, in the same PHiSH show together that we didn't know each other. It rained, it poured. Opened up just before it.
Remember, they were rumors they were going to move it inside to McNichol or something like that, and then it stopped like 2 seconds before they were going to start playing.
We got the epic Divided Sky to open the show into a Harpua, which was just incredible. That was my first introduction to PHiSH. Was like, what is happening?
And the Divided Sky, when they do a Divided Sky at Red Rocks, and you're looking past the stage at Denver skyline, and the sun is setting, it's one of the most beautiful things you'll ever see.
And later that night, you got to watch the lightning storm over the city as they were playing in Purple Rain and all of that. It was a good night. All 13 were good nights, but
we actually bought tickets at the door. They were still on sale. PHiSH was not that big yet. The next year we had to buy them beforehand for the 2 nights.
Oh yeah, the next every year after that, because it got huge and it became And
that first year, what stands out to me is the Split Open and Melt, because they really just begun to crack that one open, and the Slave, which I think had been retired for a while and popped back.
Yep. Yeah. And they had the It's Ice in there and the Way and the
was that the Purple Rain year, or was Purple Rain the next year?
No, it was that
with
year
Mimi.
with his mom. Yeah,
Right, his mom came out. Yeah.
And the vacuum didn't really work for her. And then
back in my day.
back in my day. Yeah, Sherman's is a Colorado native. All right.
Kev, you could have actually just hit the audio. You didn't have to recreate it with your beautiful. Oh, I love it. It's chaotic. Where do we want to go to next? We are ahead of schedule.
Ahead of schedule.
Well, that's because we combine things. We combine fish dicks with the best dicks instead of like spacing it. We kind of mashed it together.
We had mentioned James Casey last week.
Yeah.
And
you have an update for us?
Well, Bill Kreutzmann, Billy and the Kids, dedicated the first show of their 2 shows last week to him, the one at Pier 6.
Yeah.
So I mean, we're praying for him. If you pray, whatever you do, keep good thoughts for the man. And I don't know. The thing continued with all that nonsense with Trey for like days. We ended up getting people saying, famous people saying, stop with this. Like Jen Hartwitz was like, what the fuck is up with you idiots?
I liked a couple of the trolls this week saying with the flood thing, saying that why you don't hear anybody bitching about fish just donating everything to the flood victims and doing a show instead. So it's very selective what people want to complain about and bitch about.
Do you think we're going to get guests? Do you think it's going to be like something, a chance to have guests or something?
Well, it's funny because the other day on his Instagram, he did the "What are you doing" with Nat, and she was doing the trombone. So that made me, because I was like, well, where are they now that he's with her?
Oh, they did a cat something music festival last weekend. They did a one-set show at some festival. So
together, okay. Because I was like, wait, why is he with her? Is she like up there with them and gonna come out? Like, will they have a horn section? Because that'd be pretty cool. Like, fish with horns is always a pleasurable
interesting
experience.
Yes. It would be like Tab.
It's been a minute too. I feel like
it has.
The Tab set list from that show, 11 songs, only 2 of them were Tab songs. The other 9 were
what
fish
show
songs.
Is that?
The one over the weekend, this past weekend at a festival.
Yeah.
Catbird, that's what it was called. Thank you, David.
Wait, that's Llama.
Yeah, Dave Matthews. Bring out Dave Matthews.
The same thing.
What? Are we calling
Cat
Llama
doesn't
David
listen
now?
to other people, right? He just
David put it in the thing. Yeah. He was reading it off.
Kev doesn't listen.
I was the same thing though, Tim. I was like, wait, does he know it's Llama and not Dave?
That took me way too long to understand what was happening.
Exactly,
I still don't know.
Sean, exactly.
Like
that year Jen showed up at Dick's. We got some Hearts Week at Dick's that one year. What was that, 2017, 16? I can't remember when that was, but it's been a while since. I don't even remember. I don't remember.
Susie?
I could probably look. Got Susie with horns is fantastic. I
always
Susie. Always love a Susie with horns.
My biggest knock for that was that since it had to be charted, there was a very limited pool on that Giant Country Horns tour of songs they did. Like the second sets were basically all the same throughout the whole tour.
That's true.
But it's tough. You got to chart them, and it makes Fish play different because I don't think they can improvise as much or jam as much because
they can, but it's like type 1 jazz style improv, right? Like you're in the chord structure in a 12 bar or whatever. Like, so they're still improvising. They're just not getting, really out there and spacey with it. But like, that's how Tab jams, right? Like every Tab song's not this, every version's not the same. Like they're jammed out. They're just jammed in a very type 1 manner, which is cool. I mean, that's fun. That's like what most of the world knows as jamming. Type 2 is the rarity, I think, right?
Yeah, right.
Is there a difference between jamming and improvising?
Yeah. if you are soloing over a chord structure, like if the rest of the band is vamping and you're soloing, I would say the soloist is improvising, but the band is not jamming. I think jamming, and this is just my thought, I think it's a conversation. I think jamming is akin to like dialogue, whereas improvisation could be, but it's also could just be soloing, right? One person can improvise, but you need multiple people to jam. I think.
I think
that sounds
that caveat.
I really stuck the landing on that.
My distinction.
Don't quote me.
My distinction, Tim, would fall with yours in that improvising is jazz, but I would say that jamming is blues based. You're sticking to a groove.
No, because you can improvise with any style. Like I could improvise pop. I mean, it would be 1-4-5 over and over again, but like you could improvise the lyrics. Yeah, I don't know that I think improvise is just all jamming involves improvisation, but not all improvisation is jamming.
I think jamming is in like a defined structure, right? Like you're kind of like, okay, we're gonna stay in this structure, we're gonna stay in this groove. We kind of know what's gonna happen. In improvising, I think you just kind of pick up on what the next person plays and you just take off and it goes where it goes, right?
I hear you, but I'm going to respectfully disagree with you, but that's okay.
That's 100% fine because
that's all right.
I'm going to tell Kev that with my intrepid producing skills that it was August 29th, 2014. Jen and Nat showed up and they did Susie at the end of set 1 at Dick's.
Had to be Susie.
And that was also the show that they did the Lushington joke where Lushington was voted the #1 song and they spelled Lushington with ha 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 after it.
That was fun.
That was that show.
Fun. Yeah, you're right. There has been no like fun gimmick for a couple of years. I think it's overdue too. I think
after they did the 2015 thank you was the end. Up until then, they did it every year.
But it would have gotten too like. Yeah, you needed to subvert expectations like that.
Agreed. So now we're going to do something fun.
Let's do another PHiSH
another
song.
tune.
Yeah, what number are we on?
Number 7?
6.
6.
6. Everybody ready? Scott, put the cone down. I'm going to give you an extra minute. Put the cone down.
He's already in because he was second behind. Sure.
Oh, all right. I know, but then he said my shit was weak, and I don't know. I guess we'll leave him in. All right, ready? Oh, that's tough.
I like Joel's to just put some. Just gonna throw a few songs out there.
Oh, this is a hard one. I found a hard one for people. Where's
Shermith? Is he not playing because he knows it?
No. This one is hard. See, this goes to my theory that it's a post-Toy song. It's a later song, and that's when it gets hard. All right. Shermith! Oh shit! But he can't be in, and I gave away the answer. I'm so happy to see somebody get it right.
What is Frankie Barton? Is that the line from Joy? Softly sing sweet songs. Oh no, Joy is the one. This is your song too, right?
Yeah.
This is
we
your
want
song
you
too.
to be happy.
I think he just threw up a half quarter. I think he just threw up the half quarter and nailed it. That's all. Because he said before that he totally didn't know this. And I think he just kind of. But that's a hell of a guess if that's true. You're totally getting a tie-dye, dude. That's
all right. So that no one got that one.
Has Sherman gotten every single one right?
Do the next one. We only have 12 minutes left anyway.
Yeah, fuck it, right? And we got nothing.
Oh, first you're doing them too soon, Cat.
I didn't say that. That was
me. That was me.
Number seven. I love this one. Let me play that again. So much fun.
Boy, you got all like deep.
Yeah, I wanted to get harder towards the end.
And they have.
Yeah.
Somebody will get it. Just keep throwing songs out. You should have made a 1 second clip and a 2 second clip and a 3 second.
So you can like name that tune. I could name that
Yeah.
tune and
Poor heart.
What?
What?
No,
No.
that's a hard one. All right. Can I guess?
don't you know it?
What album is it off of?
I
Yeah.
can't tell you that.
So throw that out and see who can guess it.
Because it's probably the title track of the album.
Rift?
Oh no. No,
I'm
no, no.
just,
No.
You made that shit too hard. Exactly, Shermith. What's the album? What's the album? Is it 1.0, 2.0, or 3.0?
2.0.
So it's on Round Room or Undermined?
This is correct.
It's Undermined. Did Michael
It
get
is.
it right?
Michael Brown got it right.
There you go, Michael.
it
Good
is.
job.
All right, let's just get the last one out of the way because I can't remember what it was and if it's easy or hard and if it
Oh,
Right, we
sucks.
still got to do
man.
the drawing anyway. so
Yeah, we still have to
it
do the drawing.
now. I gotta enter the names.
Now,
So-
when we select the winner, what I'll need, and I guess you could email intern@wook+.com, but I'll need your shirt size and if you have any preferences. I'm not gonna like promise that I can like hit it exactly, but like if you have like a colors that you really like, because I'm gonna make it for you. It's not one I've
Ask
made.
for a W.
No, fuck off, Kev.
Tell them you wanted to spell your name, especially if it's Shermith across the
Yeah.
front and tie dye.
But like like, oh, I really want green and purple or blue and red, or if you don't care, just give me a shirt size.
I look horrible in orange.
Yours is definitely gonna be orange and yellow. I'm just gonna make you a big
No,
flaming
Kev
tie-dye.
needs pink. It needs to be pink, Barbie pink, pink and white. 'cause
Oh,
he'll
yeah,
never get pink.
I made some really sick pink tie dyes for my wife and daughter. Actually, all right, last one. Everybody ready?
Do it.
That one's hard.
That is hard.
Uh-oh. I made him too hard. Damn it.
Mm.
Hey, David. Oh, no, Shermith. Fucking Shermith.
And then Nikita got it too.
Mm.
So it's going to be Ghost Boy since he's.
Well,
Oh, wait,
serious,
no,
Sean got
David.
it. Oh, David
Did
got
David
it.
already?
Yeah, David got it.
Oh,
David is
David
not
got
in
it.
it.
Okay.
Oh, so Sean's in.
Oh, David.
Okay. All right.
Is
All right, we
David
got
in or
that.
not? T, you're the guy that's tracking all this shit for us.
I am.
All
I
right.
think
So
we're
at the end
short
of the
one.
show, we're gonna run that. So in about 5-6 minutes, let's jump into this new Star Wars because I really have a crush on when the
How do I only have 7? How do I only have 7 winners? We're
what
missing one.
happened? Oh no!
Didn't we have
Lava's
8?
like, I'm out of here.
He's not talking about that shit.
I have Kyle, Z, Shermith, Ben, Dave, Makita, Michael Brown, and David.
Yeah, because one of them nobody got.
No,
Didn't we
somebody
replay
got
that one?
No, number
That was
6
when-
nobody got.
No, somebody did get that one. Michael Brown got that one.
Michael Brown got that one.
I thought we
Before
said
that-
Joy beforehand,
Right, but
and
then he
nobody got
played.
it.
But then didn't the 6 become the last one?
Wait, did nobody get Joy?
Nobody got Joy.
So there's only
Well,
7.
Shermith got Joy.
Shermith
Shermith got joy,
Right.
so he gets 2 entries.
Well, yeah, but if we're doing that, Shermith gets
No,
like
Sher-
5
Sher-
entries.
No, because he's the only one that got joy, right? Like we can't go to the next one because nobody else was like, oh, he got it. I'll just type it. So
Well, I think Shermith is getting one no matter what. So
I think that's the case.
Tim can just send him in, so I can take him out of the drawing for.
So then we'll just
that
draw
one.
with 7 then.
Well, we have 7 now, so give me one more to do because now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Well, who's in there?
Oh man, you're gonna scroll. Hey, producer, can you scroll
No,
back
put
up?
put
while
Ix,
we-
put Ixo in. Put Ixo in.
Okay,
I like Ixo. I went on tour with Ixo. He's a
playing
great guy.
favorites.
I am. Fuck it. I don't care. I'm not. I mean, yeah, whatever.
So let's talk about Rosario Dawson.
Oh yes.
I mean, she was in Marvel. She was fantastic as Claire Temple in the Netflix Marvel series, Daredevil, Luke Cage. And now she shows up in the Star Wars. I did not realize, I guess she's already been in some shows and I missed that.
Yeah. She's
and all the promos.
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
I
she
don't
was in
pay- I don't
Mando. Did you like it? What did you think of the
I
first
loved it.
episodes?
I thought it
Yeah.
was great. I thought it was a great story they were telling, you know. We're
Now,
introducing
did you watch
another...
Rebels beforehand? Are you familiar with Rebels?
No, I've never watched it. I don't do cartoons too well.
Really?
Unless
All
they're
right.
the DC movies. The DC cartoon movies
Yeah.
with like Superman and Batman are all pretty good.
Yeah. No, I didn't watch Rebels either, but watching this really makes me want to get into the Filoniverse and like dive deep into it. I'm really excited about it. A lot of people are giving shit this morning, which I didn't understand, but I feel like it's become such a habit now. It's just like the last couple of years, everybody's gotten into this habit of giving people shit, like, you know, for like Marvel and like Star Wars and stuff, or Fish. But I don't know. I really dug it. I thought it was great. Did you see it? Are you?
I have not watched it yet. Yeah, I have not watched it yet.
Yeah, he was remember the Lazy Jedi?
Oh, we're not gonna do spoilers.
The Lazy Jedi. Yes, exactly. That's a show that needs to be done.
Well, if we did the clips, that could have been your clip. Maybe we'll do.
That could have
clips.
been. Well,
and
we'll
somebody
still
had
bring
cut that
back.
clip. Somebody had cut that clip.
Somebody named Kev had put that in the Dropbox already.
All right, let's.
I will say this though: I'm the kind of person that likes to kind of wait until all the shows are out. Like, see, I look at streaming as streaming. The difference between streaming and network TV is not having to wait a week to watch your shows, right? So now that all these streamers are doing the week things, pisses me off so bad. Netflix still has it right. You dump the shows all at once and you binge it. That's what streaming is. So to me, I like to kind of wait until they're all out because I have a terrible memory. I've watched too much other shit. Like, I get lost waiting week to week to week. So I like to have all 8 of them, all 9 of them, whatever, all 10 of them ready to go, and then just barrel through them all.
I think there's going to be 8 this one. I agree with you, but I do like that Disney's moving it to 9 o'clock Eastern rather than that like overnight 2 a.m. bullshit. So like, it's kind of like the HBO, like the Game of Thrones type of style, which I think helps. But
it's also bullshit because back in the day, sorry, Kevin, but back in the day, I mean, 24 episodes was a season. Like that's what constituted a season, right? And now you're getting maybe 8 to 10. Like back in long ago though, this wasn't even like this was, I mean, we're talking like 2012 and shit when like shows had 2 seasons, a fall and a spring season, and like both of them were between 12 8 in that season, right? And so you'd end up with 16 to 24 shows, and the good weeks were always, you know, those weeks when they had to do the ratings things and like the sweeps weeks, and you got like episodes, and then you know, you went on summer hiatus. So again, streaming
agents.
I'm with David though. I do think that's better, but I'm not going to be able to wait because fucking people are terrible online and they'll spoil shit.
And I get that. I'm just somebody who doesn't even care about spoilers. Like, I'll actually read the spoilers before I watch the show because I enjoy seeing how the performances are and everything else that goes into the show. I don't really care about
hoity-toity LA shit.
I don't really care about the story necessarily and whether or not somebody got killed or like that crap's like whatever to me. So I'll actually read the scripts and the storylines before I even watch it.
When I'm halfway through a lot of movies, I'll pull it up on Wikipedia to see how it ends. I can't.
You're like, am I gonna have to make it through this thing or not? Like, is something good gonna happen?
Is it gonna be worth it? God.
Is this asshole gonna die or does he make it to the end?
You know, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. when it came out, 24 episodes. It took me forever to get through the 7 seasons.
Well, that's Alex is sorry, real quick. Alex is binging iZombie on Netflix, and the first season was like 8 episodes, and then one was 9, and then the second one or whatever that we just watched was like 14 episodes or something. So it was a fucking trek to get through that. And you're like, geez. I guess that's why, you know, binging it is only 8 shows. But anyway, I digress. All right, let me share my screen and let's bring up this little contestant thing. Let's see if I got it right. I do. Look at this, guys, live. Let's make sure we don't bring up the porn that I have on my screen. Okay. All right, so there's all the names. I can scroll down so you can see everyone else is in there. There's everybody. So I'm just going to pick a random name.
There's 2 Daves. Yep. Who's the other Dave? Was there another
Barrick.
Dave? Oh,
Dave
yeah,
Barrick.
Right. Okay.
Dave Barrick. I didn't put last names other than David. Okay. So here we go, completely random. EXO gets in because of Tem.
All right,
Feel free to protest everybody else.
pick another one. I'll throw in another one. So you'll still get one, but
Okay, we'll do one more. Pick a random
Yeah.
name.
Ben.
Ben.
All right,
Ben.
awesome.
All right,
So-
Ben M. Shermith.
Ben,
and
Ixo, and Shermith. I will hit you guys up, but either find a way to. So if you follow me on like Twitter or Blue Sky or intern at wook+, or you could message your shirt size and whatever. But just get in touch with me so that way. Whoa, yeah. And let me know what you want. I do have all sorts of thank you. I've done all sorts of cool. I'm really digging it. Like I don't know. I think it come out pretty well. And thanks for watching.
And you can just randomly email that if you want.
Right. Shit, now we're gonna have to verify that it's actually you. Oh, we'll figure it out. All right, I'll see you
The
guys next
secret word is
time.